So very quickly, I wanted to talk about two very specific stocks today. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. I really hope that you learned something new. And if you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and subscribing if you feel like we earned it. Starbucks soared 24.5% today. I mean, it's an absolute insane move. Starbucks has not been doing well for 2024. And to say the least, it was down from the start of 2024. You guys can see from the overall start of 2024 to where we were at lows of, what was it, $70 per share, and is now trading 25% higher at nearly $100 per share after the announcement that Starbucks CEO is out and Chipotle's Brian Niccol is now taking over. So this is Brian Niccol, who's the previous CEO of Chipotle and is now replacing Starbucks' previous CEO that was only in that position for just about 1 year. And we're going to talk a little bit about the details, so make sure, again, sit back, relax. But I wanted to quickly talk about this reaction. The reason I'm making this video is asking that question. Is this an overreaction? Because if it is, then there's money to be made, right? Because if this is an overreaction for Starbucks and then Starbucks begins to correct itself, then there's possibly money to be made on possibly shorting Starbucks if we begin to see progress on the downside. But the same thing with Chipotle. Chipotle, right? Because Starbucks just stole the CEO from Chipotle, Brian Niccol. Chipotle at one point was down like 10%. It hit lows of nearly $47 per share. But now then it closed at 7.5% in the red. Is this an overreaction? And is Chipotle on its way to make its money back to $56 per share? Because again, then there's money to be made there. Or is this going to continue in selling off? And is this possibly something that we want to continue to short? So let's learn a little bit more about the details. Well, who exactly is Brian Niccol? Brian Niccol, if I'm not mistaken, also was the former CEO of Taco Bell, then became in 2018 the CEO of Chipotle, who pretty much saved Chipotle through that whole lettuce E. coli issue or breakout that it was having, and really ramped up the overall sales. Since Brian Niccol has taken on over, CMG or Chipotle stock has risen 800%. Now, is that all based off of his doing? Well, maybe no, not necessarily. He kind of recently became very popular, very famous. I wouldn't say very popular, but very famous because Chipotle was receiving some backlash from its smaller portions. And they interviewed the CEO, and he pretty much just shrugged it off and said, hey, if you want larger portions, just ask for it. As long as you're willing to pay for more meat, then again, they're going to give it to you. When it comes down to the rice, the beans, or whatever it is, just ask for it, give them a shrug, and you should be able to get a larger portion size. He seems to be pretty laid back, and he's known for two very specific things: increasing prices and increasing revenue. And that's what we're expected to see, hopefully, for Starbucks. Because Starbucks, when it comes down to year over year, it gets into the detail where Starbucks year over year is down 2%, which is one of the main reasons that they wanted to get rid of Starbucks CEO or former CEO that was only in that position for about 1 year. Then Chipotle, as an example, year over year is up 11%. So again, when looking a little bit more into Brian Niccol, feel free to do your own due diligence. Supposedly his net worth is a little bit north of $65 million, which is kind of funny to me because they only have a salary that's like about $1 million to $1.5 million per year. But I'm guessing that they're given so much in stock options that really boost their overall net worth, right? Because $1 million to run this multi-billion-dollar company doesn't seem like at least that much, in my opinion, for what it is that you are choosing to take on. So supposedly his net worth is anywhere from 65 to 300 million. He was born in 1974, birthplace Orange County, California. That's actually where I grew up, which was something I found to be pretty interesting. And he seems to be pretty. I've watched a couple interviews from him. It seems like a lot of people do like him. Does he have a pretty aggressive way that he, manages or oversees a company? Sure, but at the end of the day, it looks like, especially based off of Wall Street's reaction, that it's something that Starbucks is very excited for. I saw a lot of people respond to my video that I uploaded on Instagram, and people were saying, oh man, this guy's going to ruin Starbucks. He's going to make it even more expensive. He's going to have smaller portions. At the end of the day, right, I mean, I think people's feedback is very important, but also the CEOs, when it comes down to these markets reactions, all they do care about is bottom line revenue and hopefully also customer retention, right? So we'll see. Year over year, maybe in 2025, we could follow up with Starbucks currently trading at $95 and to see if this was the right move, right? For Starbucks to switch their CEO to Brian Niccol, who had, some pretty decent success with Chipotle. But again, wrapping up this entire video, the whole reason that I'm making this video is asking that simple question. I'm not here to say that Starbucks won't be worth $100 per share later down the road or $200 per share to say the least, right? All I'm saying is anytime that there is a positive or negative catalyst and it causes the stock price to quickly go up or quickly go down within a very short period of time, such as just a few hours, all within one day, it tends to be an overreaction that maybe the market could correct once the hype is no longer there. So that's what I wanted to kind of remind you and make you aware of. In the next few days, we will see. Will Starbucks hold its price here? Will it begin to show signs of progress on the upside? Or based off of my assumption, it's an overreaction and then will begin to correct itself on the downside. I also do want to remind you that tomorrow is the CPI data report. It's going to be released 1 hour before the market opens, and I do plan to live stream it. So again, all I ask you to do is drop a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will take care of the rest. I'm really excited to see how the market overall reacts. You guys let me know down in the comment section. Would you consider buying Starbucks right now at $95 per share? Or do you think it's an overreaction? Even if you do believe that Brian is a good CEO, do you think it's an overreaction? Maybe we're going to correct ourselves and then maybe continue to uptrend from there. Very excited to follow up. Hope that earned a thumbs up. I'll see you tomorrow for our live session. And again, make sure you subscribe. Take care, team.